And hello, hello, hello. I am Dan Lutz, and I'm here with,
Tank.
and we're here on the front lines, and
Nice.
and the battle against the deep state, the cabal, the Lumadonkeys, and all those that wish to enslave all of humanity for their own selfish reasons. And we're here to defeat them and defeat them badly because these guys are stupid.
They are stupid.
They're
That
pretty
is a good
stupid.
point.
Yeah, it was a kind of the parting shot before we started the show. It's talking about things going on, these obvious traps that Trump keeps laying out for them, and they just kind of just keep walking in, thinking that they have the narrative, that they can say whatever they want, and it's going to now be what everyone believes. And the thing is, nobody believes them anymore. So.
My goodness.
So we have I've got nothing else on UN troops or anything like that from yesterday, so I don't know what's happening there. I do know that the power was turned back on, and I saw a report on Fox about it. So it was just talking about it was like with Larry Elder, and he's was talking and said like they shut off the power to prevent the fires, but from the winds blowing and knocking out the power lines, it would cause the fires. But of course, there was fires without any power. Well, how'd that happen? Well, we saw that. Well, there was videos showing with the weather satellites with like little explosions going off, and all within the same period, but like boom, boom, and then a little further away, boom, boom, and then a little further away. Of course, this was like 20 miles away. But the satellite was like over a 200-mile range, so 3 different areas within, a few minutes of each other going off. So that's timed. Basically 2 at a time, 2 explosions, 2 explosions, and 2 explosions. So it's obviously set fires. What was their plan? What were they trying to do? What was involving turning off the power next to a port city of Oakland, just above, this Morgan Hills area, which is just south after you go through that area where there's Silicon Valley, where the tech giants are, and then there supposedly was a staging area there with a deep underground base, and then the very next day we hear 2,100 children's freed from an underground facilities and tunnels. Was it the same place? There's many underground facilities in California, so I don't know, but interesting. There's no more news about any of this, at least not that I found.
Right. Well, that almost implies that the mainstream media is corrupt, I think. They would cover something like this. Well, I mean, that's kind of common knowledge, right?
Yeah.
So, but I mean, obviously this is happening. You had something reported in 18 states where, you had vehicles coming in. It's not uncommon now, to be honest, despite the age of technology we live in. News is regional, right? That's how you can basically manipulate, cause angst and division any place you want, just based on what you release to the public. It's we're in this time where, people got to kind of figure out, we all kind of know what we don't like about each other, right? So we all get excited, and, amped up about you did this and you did that. I can't believe you and blah, blah, blah. But how many of us actually take the time to look for the things that actually unify us, right? Because the reality is, at the end of the day, you're basically looking at humans making decisions, good or bad, about other humans, right? And unfortunately, this divide becomes it becomes kind of terrifying when you really look at what's happening, because while kings set up in places, kings, I mean, whatever, fake monarchs, whatever you want to call them, this elite mediocrity, right? This group of this super average, right? They've had lots of money and no talent, no innovation, no ideas, and they sit up in their castles, right? They they release certain pieces of information, right? That's the key to all their power. So all of these mainstream news organizations and different politicians and stuff, right? At the end of the day, there's somebody who's blackmailing them, right? And by blackmailing them, I can keep information out of the public eye, right? Because I've got a picture of X, Y, and Z happening. So now I tell you, don't you dare tell anybody about this thing, right? That I did. Right now, you'll lie to anybody for me because I got goods on you, right?
Right.
So you've got this group of goblin trolls who are trying to accuse President Trump of everything that they are very blatantly doing, right? Kamala Harris comes out and she's like, you know what? This is their part of their their rhetoric that they're trying to promote, right? President Trump is not above the law. He can't. You can't. And
the mirror effect.
Says now, that statement all by itself is true. All right, so let's leave it at that statement. Now, the next statement she makes is, you can't threaten, or you can't threaten Ukraine to withhold aid based on digging up dirt on your opponent. Now, wait a minute. Let's think about that. We just had 4 senators exposed for doing that exact thing. So maybe Kamala Harris is just making totally separate statements. Hey, President Trump's not above the law. By the way, you can't dig up dirt. You can't. Because these 4 senators, they actually said outright that they were going to withhold aid from the Ukraine if they did not give them, or if they did not continue some investigation, or try to investigate things pertaining to President Trump. Right? I think it's what it was. Right.
Right.
So imagine, it's like, what a pack of scoundrels these people are, right? It's while you're committing the crime, personally, you're so bold and arrogant that you will come out and throw stones, the other direction. So, it reminds me of like a movie, like where you're hiding from the bad guys and you throw a rock across the way, so they go look over there. Meanwhile, you're stealing everything right there. That's what they're doing.
Well.
So, and then they continue to just focus on the divide. Oh, President Trump. I mean, he is the bane to their existence. They cannot even breathe thinking about him, right? They must just go to bed having nightmares about him, right? Because
I think so.
Every time they turn around, it's like, I mean, all this dude does is win. He just keeps dropping bombs on you, like, oh yeah, oh, that's what happened. Like right now, they think they got Giuliani cornered, right? They got Giuliani like, oh, Giuliani accepted $500,000 from the Ukrainian individual, private citizen, to for something, right? They're trying to make this like a corrupt thing. Yeah, but it doesn't. It's actually gonna make what Giuliani is doing even more legit, because it's going to explain how he got all the information that he has. Because he was paid as a lawyer, which he has the right to do. And I'm not even sure if he was Trump's lawyer at the time. I'm not sure, but he was paid as a lawyer to do an investigation on corruption. It's like, and he did, and what he found was Joe Biden and Hunter Biden. And Hunter Biden stepped down from this company, and Hunter Biden, in an interview, came out and said, there's perks to being Joe Biden's son, like having the vice president as your father. He said a lot of the things in my life, a lot of the doors that have opened, would not have been open if I was not Joe Biden's son. Well, thank you, Captain Obvious, and every other retard out there in the media who's pretending like that's not the case. Everybody knows that's the case. Everybody knows that. Like, it's just, I mean, it's inevitable. That's not even a big deal. It's like, yeah, of course we know that. Where it's a big deal is when you're ripping off billions of dollars from other countries, holding them hostage for crimes you committed, and then leveraging it, and then having the audacity, when all of us can come to a place of freedom, stand up for ourselves. You are throwing rocks and stones and casting blame on someone who is trying to liberate humanity. Screw all them. Pack of losers.
Yeah, well, the only good thing on this is Kamala Harris, her position in these polls, which, I personally think she's the worst of them. It just for me, I think she's a slave master. The way just her attitude towards things, everything. She reminds me of, if you were going to pick a slave master, the ones that were the slavers, that she would be one of them, right? It just feels like it to me. It's her family background, and it seems like she's treating people the same way. You know, I was.
Well,
Good.
we know for a fact that Kamala Harris is one of her largest donors is Planned Parenthood, right? And as the district attorney, we know that there was a horrible expose, a reality that everyone should have woke up to. That as a district attorney, the evidence that was compiled against these people was very obvious by this journalist who gathered together evidence to show that they were clearly in violation of not only basic, practice like medical, ethical medical practice, but furthermore, they're in violation of actual constitutional rights that are violently being committed against defenseless infants. And in that evidence, which they themselves confess to, which all by itself is worthy of a RICO lawsuit, you could use that to sue them according to RICO. There's no question about it. It is clearly criminal racketeering on a cataclysmic level, dealing in the body parts of human beings, murder, and I'm sure there's 1,000 other ways, but they openly admitted what they were doing. That doesn't even get brought up. What they do instead, they go after the journalist for gathering the information illegally. That is such a horrible crime. How dare anyone try to make that you are defending women's rights? You scumbag, loser. Go and shoot yourself in the damn head because you do not deserve to be in the same planet as the rest of us. Anybody who thinks that is okay, that you're going to go after a journalist for doing what you should have done if you were actually for the people, if you were actually for enforcing the law, if you were actually about anything that made you worth a damn, you would have done that. Anybody who actually believed in the lawful practice, or the enforcement of the law, or the Constitution, or human life would have done that. So I agree. Kamala Harris is the worst.
Yeah, I'm glad she's like at the trailing in all of their polls, and with that Democratic debate, she was at the bottom of the heap, which is at least a good sign. But the rest are not really.
Well, who even holds any percentage of it? Every time I turn around, they say, they're this low or that low. It's like they're all the bottom of the heap.
They are.
They're like Trump and then everybody else. And honestly, they're going to have, like that woman, what's her name? What's that woman who said she was Cherokee Indian?
Warren. Elizabeth Warren. Yeah.
Now, I swear, she reminds me so much of my grandmother. And my grandmother also was a published author for some recipes. And that's what she reminds me of. Right? What has this woman accomplished? Right? That she's going to make it okay to, to promote nothing? What is she ever going to do? Every Democrat, even the Democrats know she's not a candidate that can win. The day that she beats Trump, the United States is done. If that woman wins over Trump, we're all going to hell. There's just no way. It's like replacing a leader with a slush puppy. It doesn't even make sense.
The slush puppy.
If there was an option to vote for the carpet, I would vote for the carpet. Lamb versus Elizabeth Warren. Lamb should win.
Yes. Well, that would be much better because it wouldn't make any bad decisions.
Well, at least a lamp gives you light. There's some value to it. Yeah. It's unbelievable. It's a tragedy. It's really, and what's really the most tragic, it's not that, a lot of people say, what does our country become? What's really tragic is what's being exposed is what our country never had the chance to become. That's the real tragedy, is that this was founded on principles that are valuable, that are universal, that are strong, that are incredible, that are liberating humankind. But we've never had a chance to become that. Because somewhere in there, you got the vampires over the blood bank.
Yeah. I don't think that definitely she's not going to be able to win against Trump, but none of them can. In the reality, everyone anything regarding the polls is completely wrong. So you can't really rely on them. So I can't see that the Trump isn't going to end up with even 70%. I think he'll have at least 70% of the vote because that everyone will see, everything that's been going on as positive, and everything else is just a mirage that's been coming through the mainstream media. So if he ends up with like the popular vote by 70%, what is the media going to say? Our polls were wrong.
I know. I mean, it's that's why like protecting the election process is such an important aspect of everything that's going on, right? I mean, there's something to be said about that. You have this incredible phenomenon right now where people should feel very empowered. I bet you the voter turnout for this election will be bigger than it's ever been.
Oh, I agree.
Because more people are entertained and engaged by, the polls right now. I mean, I've always like voted like online, or like, I've only voted in a couple of elections, right? But based on what's happening right now, it's like it'll be the first time. Like I'm going to make sure that I'm the first person in the polls.
Yeah. Well, it's like I voted every vote since I was 18 until the election of Barack Obama. I didn't vote then, and I stopped. But I didn't vote for Trump either. I would have voted, but I was not there. Right, I've been in the Philippines all that time. So, not that I couldn't have tried to figure out how to do the vote, but I was pretty much just disgusted with the whole system because I knew it didn't make any difference. Now I say there's a difference, and I would say getting the parties that are going to be taking place after this next election. You should use your I voted sticker as a ticket because they're going to be fantastic. Because now it's really because the swamp. If it hasn't been completely drained by then, I'll be surprised. But not surprised. It's like I said, well, it's going to be very close after that. That's what because there's so much of it already happening. The big players are going. It's again. This Democrat senator, his office was raided. For. What reason is the real question? But at the same time that Deutsche Bank and Credit Suisse was raided. So what's going on with the finances? All of this is invisible to everybody, right? Why is the mainstream media not reporting it? Well, we know the answer, but it is the question. That is so blaring at us is that they should be doing these things. Since they're not, we really need new media. They need to be replaced.
It's really something. The more you get into this, right? And there's more things available out there right now than have ever been available, right? I mean, there's so much information that you can get access to, and there's so much, reality. To be in like a situation like Hades in, right, where you have all of these incredible things happening, and they're literally fighting for their livelihood, right? They're fighting just to maintain some semblance of reasonable life down there, and you have this government that is not for the people in any way, right?
Right.
It's just really, really horrifying to know that could even happen.
How have the donations been coming for that?
Slow and low. But a little bit, people are trying to contribute. Anybody who wants to contribute, go to the speedproject.net, and you'll see we have a place there for Haiti, and you can go in and donate there, and just any little bit is appreciated and helpful. Those who have donated, thank you so much. We're making sure that money goes, obviously that's going directly to people on the ground. But, even they recognize now, and I'm, there's no question I threw this Kim's way. She's well aware of, and one of the first things that Kim said to me was that that Haiti needs to get out of the Paris Climate Agreement immediately, and so does the DR, the Dominican Republic. So anybody out there who's in any position in the government, tell them to opt out of that agreement. Part of that agreement agrees to allow the Rothschilds to just run, reign supreme. So opting out of that agreement on some level. Now I've looked at this before, and I'm certain of that. But you'll notice President Trump's talking about that. How there's an alliance of 55 countries, last I heard, and that's all countries that have opted out of the Paris Climate Agreement. Because under the Paris Climate Agreement is also them opting in to the global currency reset, which is not going to happen. And there's no way for it to happen. So you're basically, and what they talk about, many people have talked about this, how the Paris Climate Agreement really has nothing to do with the environment whatsoever. It has everything to do with the economic environment.
Right.
It's a way that they redistribute, money, and it's certainly not going to the people.
Right.
I mean,
it's from the people. It's taking from the people. Yeah.
And they don't even have any money to really redistribute, as far as I can tell.
Right. Well, that's pretty much the case.
I keep hearing about money moving, but I'm like, I don't know what they're talking about because, it's really not any money moving. And anybody you talk to on a government level or high up in corporations, they're all scrambling for money. If there's so much money, why are you scrambling?
Right. It's true. Yeah. Maybe they're just moving the old money around, to keep themselves afloat for another day. Maybe that's what it's all about. This 80 million.
I do have some unfortunate news. The gentleman who came on the call with us, John, who described having the answer, we'll say, for AIDS, cancer, cardiovascular disease. Last I heard this afternoon, he is in the hospital with severe food poisoning, which seems like a convenient turn of events that they probably poisoned him, which speaks to what we've been trying to do.
Yeah.
And that's certainly never our intent. But I'll tell you one thing right now, in no way will that dissuade or slow us down even the slightest. All it's going to do is just piss us off and motivate us to continue what John is doing, and hopefully John will be okay, and he's all right, and we wish him the best. And I'll tell you, I fully intend, as the funds come in, to ensure that people like that are protected immediately, and we will be creating safe environments. We have safe environments that are already created on some level, but some things are unavoidable, I guess. But it's just a tragedy. Here you have this life-changing, biotechnology, not even technology, right? It's life-changing discovery that's always been here. It's always been on this planet, right? It's part of the planet, right? So you're not even talking about, inventing things and putting a whole bunch of things together. You're talking about something that's just here. Right. If you listen to John talk about it, it's so simple. It's so simple. Now, he takes it to a process that's proprietary that, I don't want him to share, But, at the end of the day, it's like, here you have this. Why wouldn't you want that out? Why would the FDA be sitting on that information now for 5 years?
Right.
Wouldn't they be like, oh my gosh, we have the answer to so many of our issues? And they don't, because at the end of the day, what they want is our elimination. And this would disrupt their slow elimination. And I don't know how you could justify it any other way. If you're sitting on something that has the ability to cure people, or at very least deserves to be studied properly, why haven't you started doing it? Why aren't there people all over the country in trials right now for to get rid of their cancer, get treated for cardiovascular disease?
Yeah. No, anything they can do, to use their power to basically slow down anything that was positive. It seems like they use it. I was just literally, I read a court case that was filed, and it's a cryptocurrency related, with Telegram. They have theirs, so the SEC filed a case to stop them from issuing their coin. All right, it was supposed to happen, I think, before the end of the month. But I'm just, I'm reading this, and I said, this is, so bogus, because I know these guys have been, focused on keeping things private, right? Building good technology, And this would really make a very big difference, for making a safe environment, right? That would be also outside of their realm of control. But they're now they have to deal with this battle, right? You know, uh, so
All these legal battles. You know, there's no law that says we can't take something from the ground that grows naturally and use it to our betterment.
yeah,
They try to regulate stuff, and the more they try to regulate, the more they're just trying to kill people off. And they hide good science. That's just a fact. They hide good science, and they create junk science that eliminates certain aspects. Now, any good scientist will tell you, if you're researching something and you eliminate a whole factor, right? Like, you now have completely altered the data because you don't know what's really happening. And that is what they're doing all the time.
right.
They're constantly altering the data by eliminating certain information that, in many cases, is probably the most valuable piece of information there.
I was just thinking, one of the things that Trump could do as an executive order, all of these laws that were put in place, or regulations that said that they're supposed to do a study, like for the vaccines and everything like that. If they haven't done the government side, their necessity or what they've imposed on them, and like the pharmaceutical industry, if they haven't done what they were supposed to, all of the agreements and laws and everything that were supposed to be protecting them are now gone, and there should be now a follow-up by the suits against them from the government for the people, right? And also, like on medical marijuana, for the same reason, for it being a Schedule 1 drug, it was supposed to be periodically tested to see if it was to remain a Schedule 1 drug, to show that there is no medical use. So if it has a medical use, it cannot be a Schedule 1 drug. So that also means every law related to it being a Schedule 1 drug automatically void. Everyone who's in prison based upon it being a Schedule 1 drug, now they should be released. So he could do this, enforcing the Integrity in the Government, Act. They should be forced to, go by what is the law was as written, and if they didn't do it, then they have to reverse it. Especially when it's decades of time where it has passed.
Decades.
Yeah. And they don't do it, and it's because it's part of this lie. It's part of a lie, right? To hide the medical benefit of say this herb or whatever, the method that John has protected, whatever this was, these systems are put in place to keep people from being healthy, to keep people from having access, and to profit this group of pharmaceutical industry / everyone around them that's getting a payoff. So the system is corrupted, and it has to be wiped out. And that would be one executive order that would be very, I think far-reaching. It would do a lot. He just did a similar one, that was, protecting the people from regulations because there's no way to know how to comply, right? So you didn't know that the puddle in the backyard became, a waterway, right? Because, right? So you didn't even know how to fix the problem. You didn't know that there was going to be a problem. You could have, dug a trench to drain off the water, so then they can't, then they sit fines. So there's no way for people to fight the government. But at least now Trump basically changed that and said, well, now, you have to inform them ahead of time. You just can't come down and put fines on top. So he's trying, but I think along the same vein, this is for these big regulations could wipe out, large issues.
Well, he does have, I don't understand how anyone can ignore this. But there is an executive order that put a task force in place referring to the vaccines that goes into effect on November 22nd. It was supposed to take place on July 22nd. And on July 22nd, it was supposed to put a stop to any imposed vaccination that is set with like a quid pro quo for, you only get education if you take this vaccine. And it's supposed to stop that. They pushed it back to November 22nd, I think, so that they could impose to get as many kids, infected with their vaccines as possible.
All right. Well,
by the time school starts.
Yeah. You know what? I got a piece of news. I just realized that I watched this. This is again from Dr. Dave Janda on the Operation Freedom. This is like, get this information to Trump ASAP. USMCA, the replacement for NAFTA, has been written by people who basically did not do what Trump wanted. They just told him it was what he wanted. But what they did was they took TTP or TPP, that thing that Trump got us out of, right? And also all the things that are in NAFTA, enhanced them, right, to remove our sovereignty. Right?
Oh my gosh.
And added that all into USMCA. So now it's worse, right? And of course it isn't law yet, and it hasn't gotten through Congress. Of course, as soon as Nancy Pelosi realizes that it would be that Trump will realize it's actually bad for us, she's going to try and vote it through right away.
She'll be like, President Trump proposed this, right? They're going to bury truth, right? And try to make it look like this was his idea. Look what he's trying to do. It's like, no, that's not what he proposed.
Yeah. So anyway, that's news. Get this information to Trump, whatever way is possible. That the USMCA was written by the same guys that wrote NAFTA, and they put in NAFTA version 2.0, much worse at keeping our sovereignty, and plus, it's like, the also put in the same aspects that were in TTP or TPP, I forget what it was called, that we got out of, so, it's good to watch that again with Dr. Dave Janda, Operation Freedom. It was out today, so they don't stop, right? Trump has all these people around him, and he doesn't know which ones are going to be really on the side of the people, right? He's setting them off, like, hey, go do this, go get this set up, and this is what I want. And if you're in a normal business environment, the people that are your employees are going to go do what you say. They're not going to have their own second agenda, right? They're going to operate it the way the leader is basically saying. This is the way it needs to operate, right? So it's just amazing, that he has to put up with this, and now now he's going to have to revamp the USMCA. Well, good it wasn't pushed through yet. Nancy Pelosi doesn't want anything to go through because it'll be for Trump's betterment, right? So he got that through. So the spin on it is great, but the effect would be worse than NAFTA. So anyway, that's good that we found out about it. We just got to get the info to Trump. So, still there? I don't hear tank. Oh. I think he might be offline. The mute button is gone, so that means there's no audio connected. Well, this happens. So what else has been going on? So I hear. I'm now host. And he's back. Tank, are you there?
Hey. Yeah, sorry about that. Can you hear me?
I hear you now, yes.
All right. Yeah, so all this stuff to me, it just infuriates me, to be quite honest. And because I'm just, when it comes right down to it, there's just right and wrong. And there's just basic fundamental principles.
Well, Tank, you're missing the gray area in between.
Right. Yeah, right. Gray area. The gray area, which is if you're being blackmailed, anything's okay.
Yeah.
You know? And,
Well,
I mean, that's the part that this, when you realize the whole culture that we exist in is basically, feeding us nonstop lies, poisoning us, poisoning our children. It is a tragedy. It takes a collective, energetic force to stand up together. And what's amazing, I'm amazed sometimes when I see things that are trending or popular. Not because I know they're not really. I know it's just being put out, but it's amazing the power that social media has to allow.
hello. Ding dong.
Sorry, did you hear me?
I hear you. Sounds like someone jumped into our call.
Someone might have. But I find it amazing how much has been kept from us, right? Constantly, right? And when you really start to put those pieces together, anybody out there who's had somebody die from one of these things that are easily curable, it is frustrating, right? The fact that we're being fed bad science and teaching it to our children, right? And then looked at like we're crazy because we're talking about it. It's like, no, this is a whole aspect. Like the field, for example, the energetic field that Tesla talked about, that they proved didn't exist back in like the early 1900s. And then in 2005, they ran another test and showed, oh, wait, it did exist. It was there the whole time. And now the question is, well, wait, if it existed, that means 100 years of science was done without considering one of the key elements of science.
Yeah.
That means everything else is wrong.
Yeah. All to keep this slave money system in place. That's all it is about. Controlling everybody through this system.
Just to have a few average people stay in positions of looking like gods, while the rest of us willingly subjected ourselves to them, believing that we were less than they are. It's unbelievable. With simplistic, archaic, barbaric belief systems, which serve no one, get us nowhere. We are stagnant as a race because of their actions.
Which was their goal.
Now that to me makes me mad. That makes me mad. Anytime, somebody doesn't realize their potential, it bothers me. Just as I guess as an innate teacher, right? Teachers always want students to live up to their potential. And when a teacher can see the potential of somebody, and that kid is defiant about it, right? It's frustrating. I feel that way about all of humanity. They're like, how dare they, try to keep us from what's possible? How dare they?
Yeah.
Yeah, that is literally a crime against humanity. There's not even strong enough language because the things that are happening and have happened, you can't even describe. Because if you took your most ridiculous idea in a science fiction movie, you find out it's all real. It's all real. From every crazy, impossible thing you've ever seen. No, that's all real stuff.
Yep.
It's amazing. If you start looking at science fiction, right, as science facts, wouldn't it change the way you see everything? It's like, whoa, this is possible,
Yeah. Well, I'm amazed at how much stuff does make it through anyway, but it just gets trampled as soon as it comes through. I've seen other, energy healing type of things, putting a current through people, to read their body, program and read out, oh, this is what you need to do, and people do it, oh yeah, it works. But, trying to get it bigger, get it to the masses, and they get sued, the government comes in and takes their stuff. It is a system that's meant, really to stop people from progressing. There is this, but it's presented as you've got a free society where you can go out and get things done and just your own efforts and you can make things happen. No, they're there to stop you. It's really, I'm glad that
Well,
we're at the end of the line for this. It's going to be such a fascinating next half century. We kind
oh
of
my gosh, I'm very excited about what we're about to do as a race of people. What we're about to, you know, what's about to unfold is going to be incredible. I mean, yeah, like there's not even, you can't even quantify what is the human potential that's about to ignite everywhere. You know, um, just talking to anybody who has ever, if you heard our last episode on Robert Vaughn, also known I think as the Phoenix guy, we just did a 2.5 hour interview with him. It is mind blowing. I mean, it is worth every second of the 2.5 hours. We're going to make some of his things available to everyone on the Speak Project. We set up a page for him, with his permission. But he sat there expounding on things that are so simple and antithesis to the science that we would think to be fact that I was beside myself listening to him talk. I didn't know what to do. I was like, oh my gosh, like this is incredible.
yeah.
Right?
I got to hear the last I think 15 minutes of it, and so I want to go out and get some oranges.
Yeah, well, you know what? There's a 40-day challenge. Well, no, I'm calling it a 40-day challenge. Sorry, because I was figuring out the numbers. I'm like, what it would take to get this to take effect, right? Like, it's like 2 weeks of doing this, this very specific protocol, right? And it's very specific. I mean, like I've been doing, like ever since we heard him talk, I've been eating beets and apples and yellow squash and white onions and asparagus, but no particular order, right? Just I made sure to make a whole bunch of that every day and eat it, right? But he gives a very specific protocol for like the shake. It's like it's like a cup of white grapes and like four medium-sized beets and I don't know, a bunch of stuff like that, right? And you grind it all up in the shake, and it's huge. It's like 8 cups, right? And you drink half of it right away. Then, like over the next hour, you drink the rest of it. Then after that, now your belly is totally like stuffed, right? Now, then you're supposed to eat like 5 apples over the course of the next, 2 hours or something. And you do this for dinner. And he's like, do this, in about 2 weeks, every day you wake up, if you keep doing it, after 2 weeks, you will start to lose about a 1/4 inch from your body, like from your waist, every day. You just start to naturally lose it. And I thought, who else do I put this challenge to who would do it with me?
I'll do it, but I don't know if
Dan.
I can.
I'm like, Dan will do it. I know.
The only problem is I won't be able to get the food. Let's just say it's a premium price here for that, and I'm just at the point of getting the basics covered.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, what I figure is, I'm in full anticipation of funding because just my own personal energy, the way I feel about it, is I just feel like we're exploding into a new age where change is possible.
Then I'm going to do it. I'm ready.
So I believe that funding will happen at any minute, and when it does, what will never happen again as far as if I'm allowed to have any say about it, so to speak. None of this nonsense of waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting. All that will be like if we have access, freedom to just move funds without the nonsense of games of pandering to groups trying to kill us, which I feel like that's fair, right? I feel like as a indigenous member of this planet, I have the right to life, right?
Yeah.
So I feel that we should have the authority and the right to move money, which is just energy, right? We have the authority to move energy around this planet. So I'm anticipating that freedom being here right now. We're moving energy right now, right? So I fully anticipate this that we are actually all ready for this, is what I believe. So
I'm ready for 24 oranges a day.
he said, just so everybody knows what Dan's talking about, he said if you ate an orange every hour on the hour, you wouldn't even need sleep. The record was 6 months.
Yeah.
Every hour on the hour, eating oranges, non-stop energy, and no need for sleep.
Yeah, and you'd glow.
And you'd glow.
From head to toe, without a body scrub.
Not orange. You wouldn't be the color orange. Your skin would glow healthy.
Oh, well, that's
glow.
Yeah, you would be orange man good.
We should all do that in support of President Trump.
That's it.
Until Trump's president, I'm eating oranges every day. No, I don't like that. That's not nice. President Trump really isn't orange. That's just some nonsense they do with the broadcast.
Yeah, no. He said that to them. They're tweaking the cameras to make me look orange.
Yeah, I know.
These guys are
such a pack of just scumbags, right? Anything they could do, come on, get a life.
Yeah, they learned this from NASA because NASA tweaks the screens to make Mars look red. There's blue skies on Mars. Yeah, there's blue skies on
Mars. What color is Mars really?
Well, it's not that it doesn't have red, but we've got red as well, right? We've got red mountains and red soil and all this, but they're just more of that. But the sky is actually blue. When you're from the ground level, it's blue, but they make it look red. They tweak the monitors, right? So even in mission control, right? So they make it tinged red.
I just wonder, what does it take, for just this group that thinks they're so powerful, right, in these positions, where they think they have the right to alter our very perception of reality. What makes them think they have that right?
Yeah, well, that they are the gods, or they're on the they're better than us. It's all based around them being better. Right, that they have the right.
What's amazing is that they have such a visceral hatred for President Trump, and the more they hate him, the more we love him. Because I'm like, this man, all he does is empower the people. Yeah. Every time you turn around, he's doing something else that makes you feel like he can do anything.
I saw an interview, not an interview, but one of the news things with him in it. He's I don't know, I think it. I don't know, it's one of the, I saw 3 or 4 of them, but in one of them, they made a comment and they said, Trump is looking younger. The more controversy and everything, contrary to the other presidents that are, go become president, they all look aged after like the first day, right? And they get older and older.
Right.
But Trump is looking younger and younger. And then he made a joke about, I'll be running here till 2036.
And you know what? I'd vote for him too.
Well, the thing is that he really has the right to do it. If we really are in the republic, the amendment that was put into place to limit the presidency to 2 terms, it's not valid. I mean, it wasn't there for until after. The incorporated entity was created. So that's only applies to the incorporated entity that's limited to 2 terms. So literally, as the Republic, he could run for 3, 4, 5 terms.
Well, I just based on what I know about President Trump, he'll do exactly what his job is, and then he'll step down when it's time. So if he wants to run, I'll vote for him.
I think what the more likely scenario is that Donald Trump Jr. runs and the vice president is Donald Trump Sr.
That'd be really funny.
Would it?
I might make him a target. That way.
Well, they are a target, but still, and then if Donald Trump Jr. They'd protect Donald Trump Jr. then, because they wouldn't want Trump to be the president again for a 3rd term. Because if Donald Trump Jr. was taken out, obviously, but
I think, and I gotta say,
by that time,
I was never a big fan of the Trumps before this, you know, but because they've done such an intrusive, constant expose on their life, the more they show about the Trumps, the more I like them.
Yeah. No, no, I have a big windstorm coming up here. Let me
Yeah.
fix my audio problem here.
So, anyways, and I'm just thinking about this. That this is the biggest change in history. I tell you what, I'm about it. I am so excited right now about what's coming next, what we're gonna do. You're giving humanity a chance. I mean, literally, the gentleman we were just talking to, Robert Vaughn, he was literally telling us how to shine. He was talking about it. He said, you want your skin to shine? He was like, you just had a $500 station. Right? He was breaking it down to us for free. And I think that, profit engineering, where profit becomes your sole purpose, right? And that, and then after a while, people have really great information. They sell you out the information, then they give you the hook, right? And it'll only cost you, what would you think this would cost you? Like $2,000, $1,000? Right now, it will only cost you $300, right? Like that hook that people use, right?
And then if you act now, you'll get a bunch of steak knives.
Right, and right. So it's like you can tell how valuable it is based on how steak knife. But but what I love about people that are genuinely humanitarian, who are innately humane, right? They are advocates for people. They do this if they never made a dime. They would be talking like this on street corners. And if everybody thought they were crazy, they'd still be trying to help. I love those people. I'm one of those people. You're one of those people.
I love you too.
That's true. That's true. But so I look at that and I think to myself, that energy, right? Robert Vaughn's like that. My whole team's like that. I'm sure we all need money to survive, but at the end of the day, it's like this is what we'd be doing. This is what we would be doing. We would be fighting for humanity to help others see, help others thrive, help others be healthy, right? And I just am so excited to empower those people, to give those people a chance to really thrive and really contribute to what the world becomes. And not, have to figure out how to do that inside of all these limitations and take away our freedom. So inspiring.
Yeah. Well then, let me wait another day before I start telling, well, everyone, I'm asking for donations because I'll be close to my my time where my bills are starting to head this way. As I said, my food is now taken care of. I'm getting them as of today $15 a day, so I'm good. Yeah. So at least that well. I'm glad I'm there. Just getting there step by step.
No, I'm sorry. That's great that you're making $15 a day. I'm sorry. Dan, you're one of the smartest people I've ever spoken to in my life. I mean, you're obviously talented, can do anything. For someone like you to have to scrape to get by is a tragedy. I'm like that too.
Right.
Like, I'm always.
I get it.
I'm always scraping. So.
I'm working on something. It's going to bring a lot of money. I already know. The people that are involved with it. It's a great idea. They're going to be. They're excited. I've got a meeting that's been postponed the last 2 days because of what's going on in England. Right. The bank. Well, here's some news. I don't think it's a secret, but. The governor of the Bank of England has basically called in everyone who's licensed in the financial world there to come in for a meeting. Now it said it was about Brexit, right? So there's something that's going down with that. So there's also a lot of a lot of money moving around. At least that's what they're saying. there's a lot of leaving Germany. So basically, if Britain is out of the EU, then Germany's not looking too good, right? So because they've been Germany and France are what really hold the EU together. It's kind of just Nazi Germany, version 3. It's a but with France still in tow, where they've implemented this bureaucracy dictatorship, right, called the EU, and people have no vote or say. They have a place where people are voted, and they're just a conference center. You vote for people to go into the conference center for them to talk about issues, but they have no say. They have no say over the regulators.
Right. It's like well, what's this?
I think this is a bit of history from when I was really young, maybe like 13 years old. I was into history and I was reading a lot of books. I believe it had something to do with the French Revolution. It was the bureaucrats that were caused the problem in the economy of France at that time. They basically would only license those that they were bribed them enough or they were in favor of, and if you were out of favor with the bureaucrats, they would basically drive you out of business. So in essence, the same thing like what's happening in California, where businesses don't want to even be there because of you have to basically this environment in which to operate a business is so unbusiness friendly. You can't make money. In fact, it costs you more than you make, just to operate there. And so that same kind of system is what now has been put in place as the EU, and now is breaking down with Britain leaving. So now we're going to see what happens. So Brexit looks like it's here right now. It was supposed to happen, I believe, on the 5th, but I guess now they've moved it, I think, into, was it the 18th, maybe? Well, one more. I'll say one more thing. I just noticed for me, it's the 16th tomorrow. 17th is my birthday. So, just another little side note. It'll be my birthday. So,
all right.
I will. I believe there was an astrologer from India. It was a very highly respected astrologer. My father-in-law was the fourth richest man in India, and so this astrologer was his astrologer. And now when I'm like 20, maybe 23 or 24 somewhere, something like that, and he did a reading on me. He said, and this is what's really getting me. Is that he said that oh yeah, you'll make money, but you're going to be really, really rich, right? Like super wealthy when you're 55. I said, no, it's not going to take me until I'm 55. So, I'll be 55 tomorrow. So that'll be interesting. I don't know if it's not really about, wealth. It's about what you can do with it. And the people that are chasing, I've never chased money. I never really had to, right? I just went about following the path and what I thought I needed to do, and the money would arrive as needed. It's an unusual, situation for me to ask, people I don't know for money. It's part of a lesson, also. I mean, it's like I feel like I'm more Filipino now. That's what I tell my friends here. I say, see, I'm Filipino. I'm borrowing money. But when they say borrow here in the Philippines, it doesn't mean borrow, lend. it means give me money. Yeah, and then at some point in the future, you'll borrow it back, but really mean get borrow, not borrow, but ask for it back. So anyway, there's a little Filipino humor there. Yeah. Oh. So anything else? Are we good for today? I mean,
Good for today, man. Nothing else pressing on my end, and we are we're on watch for the first time in my experience. That I feel so confident. I mean, nothing right now would surprise me of us shaking things loose. Nothing at all.
Well, I'm expecting it. It's my birthday. And the Indian
Are you a Libra? Are you a Libra?
I am. I am a Libra dragon.
Kim's a Libra as well.
Oh. Well, happy birthday to her.
And I've got Shilea. She's also a Libra.
Mm.
And I've got a few other people in my life who are also Libra. Now, I think, Libra is the powerful feminine energy of justice, right? So I think that after all this...
Watch the way you say that.
Well, I'm sorry. I don't mean that you're feminine. I'm just saying there's a power of justice. I mean, it's the symbol as a woman.
It's okay. I'm just standing up for the toxic masculinity.
Yeah, thank you. That's right. Toxic masculinity, which is I don't know which one that is. Yeah, but I do think there's something there that's very important. With this Libra energy that's here right now. I don't know much about all that stuff, but I do appreciate it, and I do think there's value to the science of astrology, not the fiction, but the science of it. So, yeah. Anyways, Dan, appreciate you as always. Everybody out there, have a great night. Expect amazing things, and we will talk to you tomorrow on the same bat channel.
All right, sounds good. Bye, everybody. Be sure to subscribe.